All right, class, this is AutoCAD Multiview drawing number 2. And this one's very similar to the first one, except we're going to take it a little further with the graphics. So this example here, you can see that the shading here is a little bit more realistic and I don't know, just a little bit more representative of what the final product will look like. It's not perfect. I'm honestly trying to learn this at the same time as I'm teaching it. So this won't be perfect. You can see right here, this gradient isn't perfect, but you know, it looks better than just like a blank gray on everything. You can see that there's some coloring here. So we're essentially going to draw this, and the most important part of this assignment is just to draw the part itself. If you can't quite get the gradient, that is really not a big deal. Just as long as you've assigned maybe some slight variation to the coloring, that's fine. The gradient is kind of like the extra mile. So anyway, we're going to first download this ALC blank size B into our working template. And first thing I'm going to do is go to the Model tab, and I'm going to draw my overall layout. So here you can see that this block down here, the overall size is 4 inches, and then it's also, oh, it doesn't say directly, but it goes up 2 inches here plus another radius of 1.5. So it's 4.5 by 3.5. I'm going to draw that rectangle in here. Make sure that it's an object line. Oh, sorry, Home tab first. And make sure that this is an object. And I guess maybe before I start everything, make sure we've got all of these highlighted. This will make it much easier in our OSNAP. Okay, so I'm going to do rectangle, start in the corner, and this one's going to go, overall is 3.5. Actually, no, I've already forgotten. It's 4.5 by 3.5. So 4.5 tab 3.5, enter. And that's good. I'm going to use some projection lines. And we could use like special projection lines or whatever in here, but just for today, I'm going to kind of just do this the fast way. Those lines there, doesn't super matter how far they extend, just as long as they serve as good guidelines. Like that. My top view has an overall depth of 2, and its width is 4.5, so 2 and 4.5. Let's go rectangle, drop it in here, and I can't see that. So it's 0.5 tab 2, enter. Whoops, I must have messed that up. Let's try that again. .5 tab 2, enter. There we go. And I'm just going to delete these lines because I don't need them anymore. And then I'm going to draw a box over here. And that one is 2 inches by 3.5, so it's the same height. Tab 3.5, enter. Double check that. Yep. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of this line because I don't need it anymore. That line's gone. And then we're going to start adding in our most important lines. So we've got this little bench right here. It goes up 1 inch and goes all the way over. Draw that. Start in this corner. Go up 1 inch. Tab 90, enter. And I'm just going to go straight across. Like that. Looks good. Next, we're going to get our, this one. We're going to do our, let's maybe do this one. This goes halfway across. So this one goes half of the distance over and then all the way up. So I'll go back to AutoCAD. I'm going to go here. Actually, let's trim this really quick. Oh, come on. Trim. Go. And I'm going to start right. Actually, I can just draw a line, huh? line right there. Awesome. I'll do the same thing up here. That. Enter. I'm going to double check that that's correct. It is. And then there's going to be a line that goes down to define this, like right here and this right here. So this goes in 0.75 and then all the way up. So let's try that. I'm going to go down here, 0.75 tab 9, oh, not 90, 0, enter, and then it goes straight up to the top. And then I can use the mirror tool to just get that same one on the other side. That. Oh, dang it. Mirror tool. Right click. Click this. And there. Cool. And I'm just going to trim away what's extra. So get rid of this stuff. This is gone. Get rid of these. Those. Looking good. We're in a much better spot so far. All right. And then I'm going to do some fillet tool. So, well, actually, let's do the, so this one's a radius of 1.5 for this large fillet. So I'm going to go fillet tool, hit the down drop, you go to radius, enter, 1.5, enter. If I click clear, and there, and then same thing on the other side, here and there, that will round it off. I guess while I've got my fillet tool kind of going, I'm going to get the edges here and there. I think those are the only spots. Yep, so just right here and right here. And this one right here is 0.5, so these large ones are 0.5, and then the smaller ones here aren't indicated, but it says down here that it's 0.25 in the general notes. So we'll go fillet tool, radius 0.5, enter. I'm going to click here and here. Same thing here and there. Awesome. We'll go, fillet tool. I'm going to go down to radius, change it to 0.25, enter. Click here and here. Same thing here and there. And I think, and technically it's on this side too, I believe. Yeah, I gotta get that one as well. So fillet here and there. Awesome. Okay, and then I'm going to put this main circle in the middle there. I need to check its diameter. It's 1.5 in diameter. So if I kind of hover over here, it'll highlight the center. That's 1.5, enter. Very good. And then let's do our other circles that go here in the corner. These ones are 0.5. There's another one over here. That. Check that's right. Yep, 1.5. And then I'm going to do a bunch of projection lines for our hidden lines. So I'm going to do a line on this circle. Goes over like this, and then straight down. I'm just going to go over 0.5. Tab 0, enter. It goes up. Escape. Trim what's extra. Let me get rid of that one. Here. Get rid of that. And I think I can actually get rid of, there's an overlap. Anyway, and then I'm going to use the mirror tool to just duplicate this. So boom, boom, right click, and I can click the midpoint here, midpoint there, and it will place those on the other side. Awesome. And then let's do our large circle. Go here to there, straight up. Goes over 1.5. Tab 180, enter. And then I guess I don't need to go the whole distance down, just to this surface. And then trim. Get rid of this, this, that, that. And over here, we're going to get our this circle, that hole that goes over there as well. Goes up. Straight over. Goes down 1.5 inches. Tap 90, enter. Goes back over here. I'm going to trim the extra stuff. That, that, that. And then I'm going to do a little bit of line changing. So I'm going to select this, these ones, and then I'm going to go up to object line here and change it to hidden line. And that is good. Uh-oh, I've actually missed one. So down here, there's well, two technically. There should be two hidden lines right here, and I gotta basically put that over here. So I'm gonna go line, and I'm gonna grab this. This actually only goes over 0.25, so just a tiny bit. Tab 0, enter, and then it goes down. Goes over 0.5. Tab 0, enter, goes back up, and I'll just trim what's extra. Is this? Let's trim that one. Whoop. Okay. All right, and I'm going to change these into hidden lines. Very good. And I think we're in good shape now. So the next step, I'm going to try and simplify this a little bit. I went a little crazy on this, and that looks good, but it's maybe a little advanced. So we'll just kind of pretend that I didn't do that. So I'm going to try and keep this a little easier for you. So notice how I kind of assigned anything that's facing directly upward was the lightest gray. And then frontward facing for the front view is kind of the mid, and then anything on the sides, on the far right, and I guess technically the far left would be the same in this case, is the darkest. So that's on purpose, and we'll do that. So first, anywhere that's going to be totally flat and is absolutely like a solid color, we're going to assign those just to kind of help guide us. So I'm going to go solid for my hatch tool. Let's do my lightest gray for this surface here. Hit enter. And then let's go back to hatch, and I'm going to do my next one, which is going to be the mid, which will be this front face. And not all of them, but just these parts here and here. And technically, like I said, it is a little bit rounded right there, but we're going to ignore that because it's a little advanced, and I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So hit enter. And then on this side, let's go solid and change this to that. And I'm going to go for my darkest one here to here, like that. And I can hit enter. And then all of these other spots that are open, we're going to use a gradient. That kind of goes from one color to the next, or one, I guess, tone to the next, or shade. I guess it's one shade from the next. We're going to go shade here, and instead of solid, I'm going to change this to gradient. And gradients are pretty cool. Like, it'll give you a couple of examples in yellow and blue. We can change those, but it's kind of nice to leave them at like this way first and then change it afterwards. So this one's the closest. I want it to start light and then go dark on the sides. So I'm going to click here, and notice how if I click just one of these, it will assign it for just that space. But if I click more than one, it will join them together. So this all becomes kind of a unified one. And nope, I don't want this to be blue and yellow, so we're going to change it so the yellow one is going to be that lighter gray, and then the blue is going to be that the darkest gray, which is this one over here. And then I can click close hatch, and now got this nice kind of gradient. So it kind of shows that this surface is rounded. Kind of slopes from that view. Okay, and then up here, these ones, and technically it doesn't curve quite as much as we're going to make it look like it curves. But again, this is totally fine. We're just gonna go with it. So I'm going to go to gradient again, and I'm going to change this to solid gradient. And the one, remember we did last time, so we're going to have to edit this a little bit, but we want linear. So this is the gradient linear. Notice how it goes from lighter to dark. So this one's preset for my my right side, or sorry, my left side, so that it's lighter in front and the darker inside. So click there. I'm going to click this one and that one, but it's a little bit too light, so I'm going to change this one to that. And click close. That. Cool. So that's good. Next, I'm going to do it on this side right here. I'm going to go back to gradient. Change it. Oh, sorry. Gradient. Change to this one for linear. I'm going to click here and here, but notice it's backwards. So we can actually switch that by changing the angle. I think if I go 180 and hit enter, yep, that's right. It's kind of hard to visualize this, but it turned the direction 180 degrees. So now it's lighter in the middle and then darker on this side. So it's the same thing we did here, just flipped the other direction. All right, and then we'll do the same thing to these guys over here. So this one's going to go dark to mid. So I'm going to go back to hatch. Click here and here. So that's all one thing. I guess I should have done the gradient first. And then I want it to go lighter to dark. So let's change the... actually, that's okay. I can just identify make sure I associate this the right way. So this one... change that. Let's try that again. I hit escape. Oops. And let's go gradient. Maybe that's why. Okay, I guess I just didn't like that. I didn't click that first. So I'll go linear. Click here and here. And right now I want it to go from my darkest and the... oh, actually those are what I want. I just have to reverse the angle. So I'm going to change the angle to 180. Enter, and yep, that's what we want. So now it goes that way. And close. All right, and then the next one is this one up here. And I'm going to go gradient. And I'm going to click here. Oh, sorry. Make sure it's gradient first, and then click here. And my angle is off, so I've got to change this one to 90. It might not be 90, but let's see. Okay, that worked for me. You might have to do like 270 or something, but just kind of keep playing with it until it looks like it's lighter up here and darker down there. And close. And we're looking pretty good. If we go to final drawing, that looks pretty good. So again, it's not technically exactly like the example here. Like I did add some extra difficult things when I did this, and I was kind of experimenting with it, but I don't think it's necessary. So you do not have to do that. So as long as you've got that kind of gradient, you're doing great. Pun intended. So we're going to do our annotations next. So we're going to go to annotate and dimension. And well, actually, first thing, let's do our center marks. Make sure it's on the dimension tab so that it's or not dimension, center mark, and then change it to center mark here. Otherwise, the line types won't show up correctly. I actually did that on the last tutorial. I apologize if you watched that one and I misled you. Okay, so we fixed that here. And I'll go to center lines. I'm going to make sure that this is changed to center. Center line. I'm going to click here and here. Same thing here. Oops. Come on. There and there. Nice. There and there. Here and here. There and there. Awesome possum. Okay, and then we can do our annotations for dimensions, and we're going to make sure that we're on the dimension layer as well. And we can just essentially copy the same dimensions you see here. And I think we know how to do these well enough that you can copy it. The only one I think I'll just add in here so you remember this or whatever. Well, just as reminders, how to get these 2 times and the through in there, because that one's a little awkward. So to get those, if I'm doing like this one, I click on here, over there, and escape. So I don't have my dimension tools selected. Double click on the dimension, use my arrow key to go over and type in a 2 and capital X and space, and go over to the right and go space and type THRU for through, and click off to the side. What that does is it says that both of these holes that are the same have the same diameter and they're both through. Okay. All right, and then just make sure you change the title, which is going to be Multiview 2. Oops. 2. And then today's date and all that good stuff, and then you can submit it. So there's one little trick though, or one caveat I'd like you to be aware of, is if you export these, let's say I'm exporting it here to my desktop, it's good practice to check your designs. So notice what happened to mine. This is not good. I thought I'd fixed it, but apparently I didn't. These lines here are all pretty big. We don't want that. We want to fix that. So yeah, apparently I missed that. So I'm going to go to the Home tab, click on these, and notice, okay, so when I went to annotate, it didn't change the line type. So I guess we'll do that in the Home tab. So I'm going to right-click on that one that's selected and do Select Similar, and I'm going to tell it to become a center mark, and then hit Escape. I'm going to go to my center lines, right-click on it and say Select Similar, so it selects all of them, and then change this to center line, and Escape. And now if I export this, so right now this is what it was before, where it's all thick and really dense lines. Let's go Output, Export, PDF, and I'm just going to drop it here, Save. Already exists, sure, that's fine. And then I'm going to open it up again. And that looks better. This is what it should look like, with these lines thin. So they're not chunky. So that looks way better. Okay, all right, well, that is a wrap. So thank you for watching, and once you're done, submit that baby, and you can call it a day.